Aaron Judge is being railroaded. Now, I understand that Aaron Judge usually doesn't say a lot of stuff. So when he says stuff, we all listen. Before I continue on why I think he's been railroaded and why Sean probably disagrees with me and why Tiki may disagree with me, let me give you all the facts, all right? And then we can all formulate our own opinions. These are the full facts on what Aaron Judge said yesterday at Yankees Spring Training. Let me start with what's getting the attention. This is the clip that you've probably heard. If you hadn't heard it, you've already read the quotes where Aaron Judge appears to be very negative about the New York Yankees offseason. Here's the question, and here's his full answer in context.
See, with Cody, going into January, not knowing whether he was going to be back or not, and how important he is to this team.
It was brutal. I'm like, I see a lot of free agents out there. I see a lot of guys that, like the Bellingers, the Grishams, the Goldschmidts, like, let's sign these guys right now and then start adding more pieces, because I'm seeing other teams around the league get better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players. And, we're sitting there for a while, kind of making smaller moves. But, it was tough there in the beginning. But I think once we solidified getting Bellinger back, we got Trent being our center fielder, be our leadoff guy for another year. And then you had a guy like Goldie, some of the back end, bullpen pieces that we've been doing. I think we're being in a good spot, but the early on it was pretty tough to watch. So I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to go out there and finish this thing off, because we got a special group of players here. We got a good core, a good young core. So it was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be.
There's a lot of lines in that jump out at you. We're the New York Yankees. That is a big one. Or I was frustrated, or this and that. Like, absolutely, when you hear that, you can certainly try to jump to the conclusion that Aaron Judge was frustrated.
Yeah, sounded like he was speaking like the fan speaks.
Yes, absolutely. Here's the problem. The problem is, if you listen to the entire press conference, that wasn't the first question he was asked about the offseason. Would you guys like to hear the first question he was asked about the offseason?
Sure, let's.
Because I think context matters. I'll even let you hear the question, which involves, hey, guys, you're running it back. This was before Aaron Judge gave the controversial answer, and you let me know what you think the tone of this answer is.
There's been a lot of talk this offseason about you guys running it back with a similar team that you had last year. Just what do you think of doing that and the composition of this team?
I love it. I don't know. People might have their opinions on it because, we didn't win it all last year. We fell short in the division series, but, you get a chance to bring a lot of those guys back. They're impact players. You bring back a guy like Cody Bellinger, he can play all over the diamond. He can hit in the middle of the order for you. You can come with a big base hit when he needs to. You bring back Paul Goldschmidt, who's, been an MVP, played all over, and just what he brings inside that clubhouse, not only on the field, but in the clubhouse, he elevates, especially with the younger group we have, especially in the infield. You got a young core at the infield, and you have a guy like that can help him out. He's been there. He's done it. I'm excited. You just get another year of the young guys to develop. You bring back some big pieces, especially Trent Grisham, our center fielder, who had a breakout year. So I'm looking forward to it. And then you get to add G. Cole, down the road a little bit with some other guys. I like our chances.
If you just hear that, question, which was like the second question he was asked, what do you think of running it back? That is purely positive.
Of course it is.
The negativity was out of waiting on his buddy, Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
And so I believe in a lot of ways. I saw Sean do it on social media. He was picking a fight with Big Mac saying, Aaron Judge agrees with me. No, he doesn't. Aaron Judge agrees with Brian Cashman that running it back was the right decision. Now, you guys don't have to. I am not trying to convince Sean or anyone else that you need to agree with Aaron Judge, but put some respect on the man's name. Don't take him out of context. Don't play what you only want to play. Include everything. And if you include everything, it is clear as day that Aaron Judge loves what the Yankees did this offseason. Where am I wrong, T?
No, you're not wrong. But I don't even look at it that way. Aaron Judge is a three-time MVP. He is one of, not the best player in baseball. He does it every single day, plays at least when he's healthy. And even when he's not, he put me in the DH spot. I'm going to be out there contributing. Aaron Judge has earned the right to say whatever the hell he wants to say.
Sure.
And so if he has some level of disgruntledness, and I don't even think that's the case, with what the Yankees did this offseason, by all means, say it, right? But ultimately, it's Aaron Judge, and he can say what he wants because you know he's going to give it to you when it matters.
I agree. I think Aaron Judge has earned the right to say whatever he wants. I also think he's earned the right to not be picked apart in terms of let's play this but not that.
Yeah, but why are people picking him apart?
They're picking that comment apart because he said, quote, we're the New York Yankees. I was really frustrated. These kinds of things, when in context, what he's telling you is that he was frustrated on the timetable of re-signing his friend Cody Bellinger,
I think
not the results of the offseason.
He was frustrated then, not now. Now that they're in spring training, he's not frustrated now. I think it's exactly what he wanted. And I think, and basically, and I heard the morning show talking about this, he wanted Cody Bellinger back.
That was the key. That's where his frustration was. So, like last night, I see Sean, and I'll give you a chance to respond, responds to a snippet put out by Foul Territory, and that's their prerogative. They can put whatever snippet they want out,
right,
in which all it says is, hey, I'm like, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to finish this thing off.
And by the way, he was talking about Cody Bellinger.
Of course he was. And so Sean's response is, I just realized Aaron Judge thinks more like me and less like Big Mac. No, he doesn't. He actually agrees with Big Mac and the run-it-back people because that's what he wanted. His frustration was on Bellinger, and I believe over the last 12 hours, not everybody's done it, but a lot of people have done it, they have completely taken this man out of context with what he said, which is why it was important to play everything. I apologize it was so long. Hopefully it wasn't boring.
Right.
But it matters. So apologize to your captain.
I refuse to apologize, and actually I want to thank both of you gentlemen.
Why?
Because I've learned a lot in 3 years. First of all, from Evan, it's listen to everything. I went and listened to the full 22 minutes. And Tiki, it's what can you hear that he's not saying? Like, he's always big on this.
I don't think Aaron Judge does that, though.
Okay. Now, here is the thing. I respect Aaron Judge as a captain, and I do believe he loves Cody Bellinger and Goldschmidt and all these guys, and he did want them back. The second one we played that was the first answer. He does that 3 seconds. Let me breathe. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing because these guys aren't camping out. And I do believe he's excited for the season. I do, because once you get here, there's no use in complaining about the past.
Right.
So
There's nothing you can do about it.
So I do believe, and I believe he believes in himself and he believes in the teammates he has. So I don't think he's saying anything wrong there. But by sighing and doing that at the beginning, he's all right. Let me make sure I compose myself with the right answer. Then as the interview goes along, we played that clip that we ended up playing the first time. You missed what he said, Evan. The most important thing that he said.
That he referred to it as the division series, not the ALDS.
That was also very important. But he says, let's get these guys back and start adding other pieces. They didn't add any other pieces. He said it there.
You're right.
Yeah.
So, okay, that is a major part of that answer. Yes, I do believe the biggest thing he wanted back was Cody Bellinger. Of that, I have no doubt. And how could I argue that? It was the biggest thing I wanted back. But when he says other pieces there, Evan, they didn't get any other pieces. He's not talking about Ryan Weathers. And when he says, let's be the Yankees, his point is, if we get this stuff done early and we show our guys like Bellinger and company we appreciate them, then we could focus on the rest of the offseason. They waited till the end. They got Bellinger done. Now I'm sure he's happy because he did like that group. They felt like there was unfinished business, but he said it all there in the answer as the interview went on. He expected other pieces. He expected them to act like the Yankees, and we did too, and they don't do that. And what I give Aaron Judge credit for is he's being professional about it. He's understanding, hey, we got to do what we come about, but he gets all the crap. Every time there's a postseason failure, Aaron Judge gets all the crap. And you know what he has to go through that Derek freaking Jeter didn't have to go through? The idea that the Yankees always leave room for improvement on Aaron Judge teams, and they never finish it off, and they always did, and Judge is the one that has to pay the price for it, and I'm sure he's frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I think you offered your opinion, but you didn't really offer Aaron's because what Aaron
Why did he say other pieces?
Well, he did say that, and you're right.
But what does that? You don't know what that means.
You're right. I don't know what that means. Maybe in his brain, Ryan Weathers was the other piece. I have no idea.
Well, I think personally, now I'll never know this. I think he wanted Bo Bichette on this team or some kind of massive improvement to the infield.
But you're assuming that because he never said that.
Well, but then in the other answer, he goes out of his way to say, well, we needed Goldschmidt to help how young this infield is. That's the glaring hole in the team. They needed another bat in this infield.
But the first question, it was the second one we played, but it was the first question he was asked specifically about running it back. And while he did pause before answering it, he made very clear, while everyone may not love it, he loves it. And he thinks this team is good enough to win. I thought he made that clear.
Well, you know why he loves it? Because he's being a great teammate.
Exactly.
He's propping up every single guy that was on this roster a year ago that's still here And while people are taking it a little bit out of context, I don't think totally out of context, by the way, Evan. I think it's just a little bit out of context that he wanted some new pieces. He also has to support the guys that are here,
right?
That are going to ultimately be playing alongside him to try to go a little bit further than they went a year ago.
Well,
so you can't undermine them by saying, yeah, you know what, I really wish we had Bo Bichette. Right. Sorry,
right.
Ryan McMahon. You're obsolete in my mind. But you know what? Good luck this season. Like, he can't be the leader if you do that. So
no, you're right.
He has to talk, right down the middle and intimate on both sides of it, but also be the guy that everybody expects him to be.
There also wasn't any kind of pushback, which is, hey, Aaron, I know you can't name any names, but do you feel enough was added besides bringing back your guys? Mm-hmm. That was never asked. And maybe Aaron Judge would have said, yeah, we could have done more. I mean, he was giving his opinion. And I know we're not used to that. So I don't think he would have necessarily held back. And I don't think that would have been an insult on the players that are here. But overall, listening to him, I hear a guy who's like, we're good enough to win.
Right.
We won 94 games last year, which they did. We ran it back by bringing back most of our guys, especially position players. And oh, by the way, and I know you hate it when Brian Cashman says it, but Aaron Judge said it, we're adding G. Cole.
He did. No.
Which, whether we want to admit it or not, is a huge addition. I know we don't like hearing it's like a trade deadline deal. When Brian Cashman says it, we hate it.
I think we're pretty good.
No, Aaron Judge is right. They are adding that play.
No, he's right. But, Evan, I think this is kind of getting lost in the either or. Can't a couple things be true here? He believes in the teammates they had in unfinished business last year and believes in himself and believes in young guys, while also he looks at the overall spectrum and goes, I'm the star of the freaking New York Yankees, and I'm playing in the era where they don't act like the New York freaking Yankees.
But he didn't say that.
Right.
Evan,
he said
Evan,
that in
you
the...
can't...
Sean.
Just, no, you're going to give me a second.
Oh.
You can't yell and scream. You're not even yelling and screaming. You can't try to, belittle me and talk down to me and go, see, you took him out of context, while glaringly ignoring that he said, if we act, early on, get these pieces back and then add other pieces. That's an important line.
Yeah, but
that is not out of context. He said it.
No. It is because he said that in regards to Cody Bellinger. The question that got Aaron Judge to give all these opinions was it frustrating having Cody Bellinger not re-signed late into the offseason? So when he said act like the New York Yankees, your brain takes you to buy every player the way we used to. But the real answer was, can you re-sign Cody Bellinger already?
Yeah, I think the answer, what he's really saying is, you want Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wants to be here. What the hell are you waiting for?
That's what it was about.
Just stop the games.
Exactly. But it didn't feel like, and we were living this in real time talking about it, the entire Yankee offseason felt frozen until a Cody Bellinger decision got made.
Yeah.
And we were all frustrated. I think that's the point. If you get Bellinger done early and stop nickeling and diming, then maybe the Yankees would have looked around.
But I think that was intentional, by the way.
By who?
By Cashman.
No, it was intentional by Scott Boras. Like, what'd you want to do? Just give him what he
I'm
wanted?
talking about the from the Yankee side. I'm not talking about getting the deal done. I'm talking about the Yankees not doing anything other than waiting for Cody Bellinger.
Well, because that was their priority.
That was their priority, and by doing that, they're not forced into, now we got to go do this other thing.
Right, but I think the reason why, because Sean said they could have done it sooner. The reason they didn't do it sooner is because they were negotiating with Scott Boras.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And as we saw with Pete Alonso last year, you don't just give in to what Scott wants. Sometimes you have to wait him out. The Yankees waited him out and eventually made a deal that they were comfortable with. So how could you be mad at the Yankees for not signing him 2 months earlier when that would have meant giving in to Scott Boras and Cody Bellinger?
Right.
Because if you give in, you're right. Now, that might be bad in hindsight. In 2003, are the Yankees giving in?
Not necessarily.
All right, but this is the point, though. Because they didn't give in, and I understand why they didn't, they ignored everything else they could have done this offseason.
What were they going to do if they signed Cody Bellinger 3 months earlier? I'd love to know that.
Okay, this is where the conundrum is. They could have signed Bo Bichette. They
were
could have.
never going to sign Bo Bichette.
Evan, I don't want to rehash this, but this is Aaron Judge's point, too.
No.
These are the Yankees, and the Yankees would have in another universe.
You are creating what you think Aaron Judge meant.
Did Aaron Judge play in an era when the Yankees did that?
No. Exactly why he's frustrated, Tiki. He didn't.
You're just making stuff
Okay,
up.
so why is he pining for it then? If Aaron Judge didn't play in the old Steinbrenner era, why is he pining for it right now? Why is he saying, well, early in my career, those Yankees would spend whatever it took
Tiki,
to
before Sean answers, let me answer it for him, and then he'll give his answer. Because Aaron Judge isn't pining for it. Fans like Sean are pining for it, which I respect.
Right.
But don't make it seem like Judge is you.
Yeah.
He's not.
Don't put your opinion in Aaron Judge's mouth.
Bingo.
That's what it's coming down to.
Keep it out of his mouth.
He said get stuff early in other pieces, so I'm going off of that. Aaron Judge at the end of every year, like it or not, is the one that gets all the crap for why the Yankees don't win World Series.
Of course.
Period, stop.
But he's a
end
big
discussion.
boy, and he takes it. And,
And I think he takes it well.
And by the way, it's not going to affect his legacy at all, unless he ends his career without winning a championship.
Nor should it. But if I'm Aaron Judge and I look at the Yankees and I go, you know, I'm being compared to all these Yankee legends of the past. They never had to deal with the crap I got to deal with every offseason. And I think that adds up in his head. And if it didn't, he's not mentioning getting stuff done early and then adding other pieces because that's exactly what the old Yankees used to do. And you're choosing to ignore that for whatever reason, Evan. That is what he said. It is not out of context.
Okay. What I am doing is I'm trying. I am not perfect at it. I am trying to be an independent baseball observer. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to be fair to what Aaron Judge said and didn't say. I respect your fandom. I really do. I respect Big Mac's fandom. But what happens as fans, I do this all the time. I raise my hand. I'm victim to this, is we put our opinions on top of what someone else is saying. Aaron Judge never said half the stuff you're trying to create. What he expressed, I'll summarize it real quick like I'm Grok. Hey, Grok Evan, what did Aaron Judge say yesterday? Here's what he said. I love that we ran it back. I believe in this team. I love Trent Grisham and Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt, and I can't wait for Garrett Cole to come back. The other thing he said was, yeah, I was frustrated by the offseason in terms of how long it took to bring Cody Bellinger back, how long it took to bring Paul Goldschmidt back. And as I was sitting there frustrated, I'm like, damn it, we're the New York Yankees.
Right.
So his frustration, which is real, was about Bellinger. It was about a player that he's friends with, a player that he likes, and a player he wanted back. What you are doing, and you're not alone, I'm sure there are other Yankee fans that are going to do the same thing, is they're placing their opinions of the offseason on top of what Aaron Judge said. Do you agree with Grok Evan, Tiki?
Grok Evan, yes. I think Grok Evan is saying it the right way. That he's fine with where they are right now. And now, honestly, it's time to get down to business.
Time to get down to business.
And he's trying to couch everything as I support what they've done, and I support this team going forward, even if slightly in my mind I wanted them to sign somebody else.
Yankee fans, did you take Judge's comments the way Sean did, the way Craig did yesterday afternoon, which was very similar, or is it a more measured, he just wanted his guy back? 888-808-1019. But there was something else Aaron Judge said, unrelated to this offseason, that should scare the American League half to death. Because Aaron Judge talked about how he could possibly be better in 2026. And he was very descriptive on what he specifically can do in 2026 to make him better. And I'm telling you right now, be afraid. Yankee fans, don't be afraid. Be excited. But for everyone who hates the New York Yankees, be very afraid of what Aaron Judge specifically is working on to put into his arsenal in 2026. We'll get to it coming up.